Let's just rock and
Let's
roll.
just rock it.
Okay, let's do it.
You are listening to Digging In Podcast, presented by Rooted Wealth Advisors.
Welcome back to another episode here on the Digging In Podcast. We have Mr. Roan Cannon.
Thank you. I'm back.
A repeat guest. My mom loves when Rowan's on the podcast. I will just say that. She's like, oh my gosh, he's just such a good singer. He's just, always brings the energy. And I'm like, Mom, I'm a great singer. I bring the energy. Come on. Anyway, Rowan, I appreciate you taking the time. I know we're eating into your lunch hour
It's all right.
Today. But today, the title of our episode that JQ has provided us is the I've Got Time lie. What does that mean?
So I think the idea behind it is we're going to talk a little bit about compounding interest today. Something that I'm fascinated with because I happen to be so young. I was lucky enough to be introduced to the idea of compounding interest when I was 16. I think we'll step back and take a look at, what that looks like over time and how it affects someone the longer they wait to take advantage of it.
Yeah. One of the things that I used to enjoy doing as a kid, which is weird, is just double numbers. I just love to double numbers.
Okay.
I don't know why, but anyway, that's kind of without even realizing it.
Yeah. Little 72.
Right. Exactly. So let's get into, I guess what is compounding interest?
Yeah. So compounding interest is the idea that your returns sort of have a snowball effect, because if you have $100,000 and then 1 year goes up 10%, you have $110,000. And even if it goes up another 10%, it's not that same $100,000. It's now $110,000. So then it's even more, and it just keeps compounding.
$121,000.
$121,000. Exactly. It keeps compounding.
In essence, returns are relative, right? And returns are relative to the value that's in the account. And the more that your money grows, the higher relative return from a dollar figure is going to be. And I think the example I would say is like if I got $100,000, 10% of that's $10,000, now I have 110. Versus $10,000, a 10% return is going to be 1,000. I now have 11, right? And the longer that can start to grow, the more time I allow it, that snowball that you reference starts to go faster and faster and faster. And I think the rule of 72 is a really great way of describing that. And so do you want to explain what rule 72 means?
Yeah. So essentially you take 72 and you divide it by whatever your call it average rate of return is expected to be. So for example, historically, the S&P is somewhere around 10 to 12%. I think the last 40 years I checked this morning is like 11.5%. But let's just call it 10. So if you were to take 72 divided by 10, it's 7.2, i.e. takes you 7.2 years to double your money. It works with any number as 72 divided by any rate of return.
Yeah, and you can almost flop it and say if I want my money to double in 10 years, I then need to average a 7.2% rate of return. And that's a great example of compounding interest, back to our $100,000 example, that, if I have 15 years, my 100 in the first 7.2 is going to be 200. And then guess what? It's going to be another 7.2 years. Now it's going to be $400,000, once again, because of compounding interest.
Yeah.
So really what we're describing here to our listeners and our viewers is that compounding interest is time dependent. And that's why it's critical to understand this concept earlier than later. And the more time that you can allow your investments to grow and compound, the better off you're going to be, the harder your money is going to work for you in the future. So I say that on the flip side, why do people delay saving? They know all of this information, let's say. They know hey, the more time, the better, compounding interest. Yep, I got it. Why do people wait?
Because you don't see the results right now. The whole the world economy is based on people wanting things now, and rather than delayed gratification, having them later. So I think it's It's just a discipline thing, and I'm not always perfect about it. Sometimes I'm like, I'd rather have that $100 right now because I need to go get this new golf club rather than put it away for something I may not see for 40, 50 years. And there's the other argument of like, just be frank. How long do I live? I don't know. I may not make it past 30. I may make it to 70. So it's hard to be like, well, what if I don't even make it that far? What's the point? I should be enjoying the money right now. And I think there's a really good balance to that in there somewhere.
No, I think you hit it dead on that there. I think your experience, like probably as a personal trainer, you can see it in different aspects.
Oh, yeah.
There's that delayed gratification, right? Like, well, I don't see the results now. I've lost weight, I've gained muscle in the first 2 weeks. So like, what's the point? So consistency matters. Is there a way to, the question is like, what's the cost of starting 10 years late?
That's a really good, again, I'm fascinated by compounding interest. It's such a simple topic, but it really is powerful. For example, like we just said, 7.2 years, if you're in the S&P, call it, that's doubling. So 10 years could be, I don't know, 1.5x ish, minus, or sorry, 2.5x. I'm all over the place here. But what I'm saying is, if I were to start at 20 versus 30, by the time I'm 65, when I retire, I will have significantly less than half of what I could have had I started at 20. I'm rambling, but
there's a good example. I'll take the ball. There's a really good example. I actually did a YouTube video. It's called Mr. Early versus Mr. Late. Mrs. Early, Mrs. Late, whatever. And it's someone that starts at 25 years old, saves $10,000 a year, and then stops. Or I'm sorry, $5,000 a year, and then stops at 35. So they put a total of $55,000 in this account. It averages a rate of return of 8% until 65. They would have close to $1 million in that account just by saving $55,000 total. Versus Mr. Late, who starts at 35, saves all the way until 65, so puts triple the amount into that account, averages the same rate of return, only has $600,000. So has 2/3 the amount of money, even though they saved triple the amount of money just because they started 10 years late. So that gives you an example of why starting early is so important and puts you on a much better runway. But $1 million question is, am I too late? Like, is there ever a point in time that it's like, yep, it's too late?
No.
Why?
I don't think so, because compounding interest doesn't care about when you start. It's just as long as you start. The best time to start is now.
And that's a habit that builds momentum. It's
true.
It's just getting started.
Just getting started.
Whether it's 20 a day, 20 a week, 100 a week, just get the ball rolling. You won't even notice it. Like, I genuinely believe that. And
that's true.
That's why more people are able to save in their 401ks and their employer-sponsored plans, is because that money doesn't hit their bank account. And so they don't even see it. It's easier to be more disciplined versus someone that waits until they hit their bank account and then they're having to save it in this other account. Like, it's really hard for people to do that and stay consistent and disciplined. All that being said, what would be your message to someone that's 20, 30, 40 years old listening to this episode today, Rowan?
Get started. I know it seems, complicated when you first look at the behemoth that is the stock market of every which way you could turn and just all these different things you can do. Keep it simple. Something you're comfortable with. One thing you have on your side, Lord willing, is time. You've got a lot of time if you are 20, 30, 40 years old. And, when we in this industry look at someone's quote unquote time horizon, increasing your time horizon significantly increases how much risk you can take because you just have that much time to bounce back. So be less worried about the risk and, more worried about just making it happen, just get it started.
Understanding the concept of compounding interest, how much it can benefit you, your hard-earned money, especially the more time you leave it and further in the future, and just do it. Just get started, set yourself up for, not to sound cheesy, but financial freedom, right? Be able to retire and retire comfortably. So, Rowan, I know you're hungry. I know you want to eat lunch. So,
sorry.
Man, I just want to say thank you for taking the time, being here, elaborate a little bit further. on the concept of compounding interest. So if you have questions, right, want to talk to one of the advisors on our team, maybe even talk to Rowan, who's also an advisor, give our office a call, 866-766-8332. And as always, we'll dig in soon.
This was Digging In Podcast, presented by Rooted Wealth Advisors.